Hey, hello everyone. How are you? So today is Tuesday, and like I said, I was going to be in here to talk about why diets don't work and what you should be doing instead. So before I get started with that, I just want to make sure I am sharing this over in my Facebook group, which is Weight Loss After 50. If you want to join that group, what you need to do is go to bit.ly/freefitgroup, which I will be sure to put in the comments when I am done with this live broadcast. But let me just hop over here and share this broadcast. All right, share it to a group, and then I'll be able to get started. All right, let's post that over there. And that is done. Let me just share that also. All right, awesome. It's in Weight Loss After 50. Let me just see if I can get this elsewhere. All right, I can share that later onto the page. All right, so here we are talking about diets and why they don't work. I get so frustrated with the diet industry, which may sound like a crazy thing if you're thinking, well, Lisa, aren't you sort of in the diet industry? I like to think of myself more as in the health and fitness industry than in the diet industry, because when I hear diet, I think immediately in my mind, it's something that you go on for a prescribed period of time and told specifically what to eat so that you can lose some weight. But then what happens after that? Typically what happens, people go off of their diets, they gain the weight back, they blame themselves because they think they didn't do well enough, they're not good enough, and why shouldn't they have been able to do this? Because clearly all these other people are getting results, so they should be able to get results. Well, I've got news for you. A lot of people are not getting results, because I can honestly say to you that every single client that I work with has struggled with diets and has failed at their diets over and over and over again. And there's a reason for it. It's because it's not their fault, it's the diet's fault. So let's talk a little bit about why diets don't work. You can stop blaming yourself and what you should be doing instead. So first off, there are 3 reasons why diets don't work. Number 1 is because they are restrictive. They either restrict you in a lot of calories, or they are restricting you in a macronutrient. Macronutrient being either protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Those are your 3 macronutrients, and they manipulate those in order for you to lose weight. So, and I'm not saying that diets don't work. Diets do work. They all work in the beginning if you follow them. Typically they work for the majority of people because they are restricting you and they're changing you. They're changing what you've been doing, so it's new to your body. So more than likely, yes, it's going to work for a short period of time. The problem is when you restrict yourself from certain nutrients, your body's not going to work as efficiently. It stops working after a while, but you haven't learned anything. So you stop blaming yourself, and then you go back to doing what you were doing, right? So that's number 1. They are too restrictive. Next, number 2, they take a one-size-fits-all approach. Obviously, they have to, most, right? Because if you're going on a low-carb diet, a keto diet, a paleo diet, well, paleo actually has a lot of different options there. It's more flexible to what you want to do. You know, high protein, low fat, high fat, there's all different types. Atkins, all of these, they have a certain way of approaching how to lose weight, and it's not going to work for everybody. We are not one size fits all, and you don't learn anything about your body that way, which is actually number 3. But so that one size fits all approach doesn't work, because say what I'm doing is not going to be good for you necessarily. It may, but it may not. So you need to figure out number 3, which is what they don't do, is they do not teach you anything about your own body and what you should be doing in order to lose weight and what's going to help you specifically. So somebody may do well on, say, take your spouse. Your spouse may do very well with a high carbohydrate diet because let's say he's male, he's active, he has a construction job, and he's burning lots of calories all day long, and he's got a good amount of muscle on him, so he can go with a high carb diet. He tries to go with a low carb diet, high fat diet, it actually won't work for him. And then you try to follow, well, he's doing that, I'm going to try this. But you have a sit down job, you work at a desk, you don't have as much muscle on you, have some weight to lose. So it doesn't end up working. Or maybe you end up following what your friend is doing and you're very similar, but your metabolisms are different. How you use the calories that you're taking in are different. We're all very different. It really has to do, it's not just what macronutrients we're taking in, it also has to do with your microbiome. What's going on in your gut? What's your gut health doing? What are you absorbing? What are you not absorbing? What enzymes are active in your body? Are you deficient in any micronutrients? Okay, so there's lots that goes into it. But it doesn't have to be, you might be thinking now, well, Lisa, if you're going to tell me all these things make a difference, how am I going to tell what is right for me if all these things could be affecting my diet? Well, you don't have to get into the whole science of it, but you do have to stop being aware and being intentional in what you eat so that you know what you're doing. I'm just making sure on my notes that I've gotten everything in here. So we're going to teach you how to listen to your own body. And the way to do that, now over to the next 3 steps. And the next 3 steps are what you should be doing instead. And I wish I could tell you that, hey, stay tuned. I have the magic answer for this because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. And you're going to lose 30 pounds in 30 days and be so excited. But I can't tell you that because that's just not reality. It's not my body work. And I hate to be the one to tell you this, but it's just the way it is. I didn't make up the rules. I'm just delivering the information. So what do you need to do? Number 1, you need to track what you eat. I know you probably think, I know what I eat. I don't need to track my food. Tracking my food is a pain in the ass, and I don't want to do it. And you're right. It can be a pain in the ass to track your food. But if you want to get results, there's certain things you're going to have to do in order to get there. It doesn't mean you have to track your food for the rest of your life. It doesn't mean that you have to weigh everything out to the specific gram. If you want to, go right ahead and do that. But you do need to track your food because over the years, I know that people come to me and they say, I eat the same thing every day, Lisa. I can tell you exactly what I eat. I get up in the morning and I have oatmeal with some berries and a cup of coffee and a slice of whole grain toast. And then in the afternoon, the morning, I have some nuts and a piece of fruit. And then at lunch, I have a salad with some chicken on it for you meat eaters, or tofu on it, and some salad dressing, and maybe a slice of pita bread on the side. And then for afternoon snack, I usually don't have time to eat, but then when I get home for dinner, it's always a protein, a vegetable, and maybe a carbohydrate. Or sometimes I skip the carbohydrate because I know I'm trying to lose weight and I can't eat carbs. And then later at night, I might have a glass of wine, but that's not that often. And I go out to eat once in a while, but not that often. Or once in a great while, I might have a dessert, but that's only on special occasions. I eat very healthy, and I should be losing weight, but I'm not. So the thing is, you think you know what you're eating, but you actually don't. If you start tracking what you eat, you're going to start noticing, oh, I didn't realize I had dessert that often. Oh, wow, we actually went out to eat a lot that week. Oh, I forgot so-and-so's birthday was this week. And it was the wedding that we went to. Something's always coming up, okay? And you're going to find as you track your foods, you're going to start seeing some behaviors that you weren't even aware of because we eat so unintentionally that we're not even aware that as we walk through the office and a coworker has hard candies on the desk that we're grabbing hard candy every single day. Forgot all about that because you don't even think of it. And it's just a little piece of candy. What does that matter? Because when you do that 10 times in a day, it starts to matter. Or I just grabbed a handful of chips. That handful of chips, yes, it could be holding you back. It could be putting you just over the edge from getting into fat burning. For not getting into fat burning. So track what you're eating, learn what you're eating, find out what's going on, what are you doing? So once you do that and you get a good solid week in there, take a look at what you're doing, look at the habits that you have, and come up with 1 or 2 habits that you can change. This is step number 2, by the way. Come up with a couple of habits that you could change that will be easy for you to do. Don't say, oh my God, I'm cutting out all carbohydrates. I'm never going to eat carbs again. Which I'm sure we've all said that once in a while when you're getting irritated and frustrated with everything. You just want to say, I'm just never going to eat. I'm going to lose weight that way. I won't eat anymore. Well, take a look at what you're doing and come up with 1 or 2 habits. So maybe you find out, actually, if you're tracking your water, you find out that, wow, I'm not even drinking water. I drink coffee and then I have diet soda. Maybe you want to start drinking water, because honestly, water would be one of the first things I would tell you to do, because without water, nothing's going to happen. So that would be a good one to start with. Or maybe you find out that maybe you eat lunch out every single day. And maybe your new habit is that you're going to try is to bring your lunch to work. And maybe it's not every single day, maybe it's one day a week. Whatever the new habit is that you're going to do, you want to track that. Okay, so you're going to pick a couple of habits, pick something that will have an impact, meaning don't choose something like, well, I'm going to have whole grain bread instead of white bread, because although that's a better choice, it's not going to make a big difference in your weight loss. And you want your first habits, at least your first habits, to be something that's going to make a difference so that it can motivate you. You want to get some wins under your belt so that you can move forward confidently. And that's the whole thing. You want to increase some confidence. So pick a couple of habits that you're going to work on. And if you find it difficult to follow through with that habit, I'll take water for an instance, for an example. And say you're not drinking water at all, or you're having maybe 1 cup a day, and you say, I'm going to drink a gallon of water a day. It probably won't happen. That's going to be very uncomfortable for you to try to get a gallon in a day, and you're not going to succeed. So now you've just sort of confirm to yourself that you're failing at this, and you don't want to do that. You want to confirm that you are successful so that you can start changing your mindset as well into, yes, I can make this happen. So you're not drinking any water, so you know what, I'm going to have 2 glasses of water a day. And you might be thinking, Lisa, big deal, what's 2 glasses of water? Well, that's nothing. It's not going to change anything. And you know what? It may feel like it doesn't change anything, but it actually does. Because when you make your habit so simple and easy to do, you will follow through. And that follow through is going to help you be successful. So the next week you can say, oh, you know what? 2 classes was easy. I'm going to do 3, or I'm going to do 4. Just make sure you choose a habit that you know you can follow through even on your worst day. Okay? That is step number 2. Step number 3, remember, you're continuing to log through all of this, is to reevaluate. So say and reevaluate every single week. So you've gone through this, you've tracked your food, you've picked a couple of habits, and then you reevaluate and say, okay, did I follow through this? Do I need to change up the habit? Did it make a difference? And you say, well, I didn't lose any weight. And you should have lost at least 1 pound. But if you didn't lose anything, not even 1/2 pound, then you might say, you know what, I want to kick this up a little bit. So reevaluate or change something. Or that didn't make a difference, let me go to something else. Or that didn't make enough of a difference, make it a little bit bigger step. So you reevaluate, and then you do those steps over and over again. Okay? Now this way, when you follow these 3 steps, you're going to learn a lot about your own body and what your needs are and what you don't need. You're going to learn that, wow, I don't need 5 servings of carbohydrates a day. I can get by with 2 or 3, and I do just fine, as well as lose weight and feel energized. I go lower than that, I get a little sluggish. See, these kind of things you're going to start learning about yourself. And this is important to be able to do, because you need to know what changes you have to make as you follow through this journey, because you're not going to have the same body throughout this journey. So what you do today to lose the first 5 pounds may not work as well in the second month. You may have to switch something up a little bit in your second month, because now your body's a little different. Maybe not with the first 5 pounds, but say you've lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds, and you put some muscle on. You're a different physical person at that point, and you're going to have different needs nutritionally. So keep tracking, keep coming up with those habits, keep expanding on those habits, and keep reevaluating. And by all means, be consistent. No matter what it is you decide to do, be very consistent. So those are my tips for today on why diets don't work and what you should be doing instead. If you would like more information like this, come join me over in my group, Weight Loss After 50. We have a good time in there. There's lots of, I run free challenges. I do videos just like this to bring you some more information. I answer all of your questions in there. And all you need to go do to get in there is go to bit.ly/freefitgroup, bit.ly/freefitgroup. no spaces, all lowercase, and there'll be 3 questions for you to answer once you get in there. Get your email address so that I can continue to send you valuable information, and some promotional emails in there as well. Let me know what it is you struggle with most and what you would like to get out of the group so that I can give you the best content, and the best content is the content you're looking for. All right, so that is it for today. I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, please post comments down below, and I will come back and answer any questions that you have. Thank you so much for joining me.